Hello, I'm Cardinal Samantha, and today I'm giving you the truth about democracy. Now, democracy is, well, I'll quote Benjamin Franklin. Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Well, I'll go further. Democracy is actually self-rule, where untrained people gather in like-minded groups and decide everyone's fate by majority decision. The problem is, you wouldn't use a mass of untrained people to decide how to build a bridge or wire your home with electricity, now would you? So why would you trust a mob to decide the fate of your country? Take a look at your politicians today. What did they do before they sat in that chair, dictating your life, dictating the rules that would run your life? Some are elite pipsqueaks who have gone to the boys' school, prep school, whatever. And then you have other people like doctors or nurses, firemen, people who probably used to run an off license or another little quaint little fruit shop. Anybody, even a taxi driver, can put his name down, join a party, and run for office. Do you really know them? No, you don't. What they can deliver for you? No, you don't. They're not skilled. They don't know anything about really running a country. You know, they're a mob. You've heard them in the government. They sound like a squawking pair of, or cackling geese and sheep going, older. You know, they sound extremely moronic. They argue back and forth. And yet, have you seen anything really get done in your country? How many times have I heard people turn around saying, oh, the Conservatives are just as bad as the Labour, or Liberals, or whatever. They're all the blooming same. Yes, they are. Nothing really gets changed. And they've got the codes, for goodness sake, to nuclear weapons. And have the right, as like a leader, like Boris Johnson being a leader, he can turn around if something happens and he can say, right, I want the nuclear codes and I want to send off so many nukes, blah blah blah, and you can't really decide on that. He does. Right? These are people, these are just normal people at the end of the day who have got together and they have one party, another party, and they could probably create even another party, and you vote for them because you think they're going to be good, but really, in the end of the day, they're all the same. But you understand my point. Now, I'm going to try and make you understand something important here. God handed down the divine right to rule to lesser gods, then demigods, then god kings, and finally the human aristocracy, as shown by the Sumerian king list. Rulers are bred. You understand that? Rulers are bred. and trained in the art of leadership and statecraft. So they didn't just come out of little prep school or, normal, secondary school, right? And eventually they end up becoming a leader of their party and end up being the Prime Minister or whatever. Yeah. Rulers are bred and trained in the art of leadership and statecraft. Mobs are trained in nothing other than their immediate self-gratification. Point their face towards a camera and they'll be there until you stop filming. See a baby in a crowd, they will grab it for the photo shoots. You understand they are using you and using your vote and hoping you will be dumb enough to accept everything that they spout, even though many a time people have been caught out lying through their teeth, and yet they still end up getting on that seat in Parliament, voting and deciding your fate. Now, by telling the world that only democracy is good, right? Satan fosters world anarchy. World anarchy. And creates a climate where people will reject the rule of a king of the world. They will reject Christ and doom themselves. Do you understand that? They will literally reject because they don't want to have this king of the world. They'd rather have some goofball as president or prime minister or head of state who's, dictating your life, who hasn't been trained. In a democracy, for example, an 18-year-old kid who can't even balance a checkbook will cast a vote that carries the same weight as the vote cast by a professional, a professor of political science, for instance. Yeah. So, the uneducated masses get away instead of those who actually understand what's going on. They get their way. You look at the people on the street sometimes, and I bet you, how many times have you been trying to rest and you hear a bunch of morons walking up the street, shouting the odds, and you've sat probably laid down there and you thought, what the blazes are those idiots doing? And yet they've got the same vote as you when it comes to it. Think about that one. In this world, we know truly only two forms of governance. The rule of law, which is republic. The rule of a few, which is communism, monarchy, etc. These can be interchangeable, but are not sustainable without a pairing of both in some capacity. Democracy is not a part of these because it is basically incompatible and an eventual road to anarchy. So I hope that you understand a bit more, because the kings and queens will be coming in the new kingdom. They will be taking over and ruling. You will know exactly the rules to follow. It is not some Burke and some mob rule. This is proper rule. You understand? And I will say, love God, love each other. Amen.